This is my tutorial for Easter Resurrection Day glitter tumbler. I have already sanded and prepped my tumbler using an 80 grit sanding block and Rust-Oleum white spray paint. As usual, I'll be using the epoxy method to apply my glitter, but since I'll be mixing several colors, I'll be adding a bit more epoxy than normal, about 10 milliliters of epoxy for this 30-ounce straight. Whenever I'm glittering tumblers using several colors, I like to use a bit more epoxy than normal for the epoxy method. The extra epoxy will allow me to have more leeway when trying to blend my colors. As the colors sink down into the epoxy, I can continue to add more glitter on top to help blend in the previous color that I laid. When I was thinking about what tutorial I wanted to do this week, it hit me that 1, it was almost Easter, and 2, in the 5 years I've been making tumblers, I've never designed an Easter tumbler. I made a bunny tumbler last year, but never a true to me meaning of Easter tumbler. This was the year that I knew I had to change that. Let your glitter layer cure, seal with Krylon Triple Thick, and then seal with a coat of epoxy. Then we'll be ready to add our inks. I lightly sanded my tumbler with a 220 grit sanding block, and now I'm ready to add some depth to my tumblers by adding some inks. If you've been a subscriber of mine for a while, you know that I love to add some depth to my tumblers, and adding inks over my glitter is one of my favorite ways to do that. The inks really bring out the sparkle and color of the glitter underneath. Let your ink layer cure, then we'll be ready to add some clouds. Inspiration for this tumbler came from this picture. I love the sunset going behind the crosses as well as the clouds in the background. To achieve this look, I applied a layer of epoxy and then split the remaining epoxy into 4 medicine cups. For the mica colors, I really wanted to copy the colors of the clouds and thought these micas were a perfect fit. Dark blue, dark purple, and dark pink for the darker clouds, and a light pink for the underside of the clouds that are reflecting the sunlight. For me, I love to just use my gloved finger to apply my clouds, but you can also use a popsicle stick or a stir stick to apply, whichever is easiest for you. Alright now, y'all should know by now, your sister is extra. So, to add even more sparkle to my night sky, I'm sprinkling Celestial on top of the micas, which will give the illusion of some stars shining through the clouds. I'll then be adding a few 4-point stars as well to really accentuate the night sky. But of course, You can totally skip this step if you like. Let cure, then we'll be ready to add our vinyl. After I cut my vinyl, I decided I wanted my middle cross to be a tad bigger than what I had. So I went back in, grabbed a circle from the shapes, and used the slice tool to cut and delete some of the design. Then I used contour to isolate the middle cross that I want to change. After it was all by itself, I resized it to the size I wanted, about 1.5 inches tall and a tad bit thinner. Now my plan at first was to have my lettering be gold, but after placing the vinyl, the lettering is really hard to read against the dark background, so I decided to put white vinyl right on top of the gold. I didn't change the size or thickness of the letters, but I did shift the white vinyl lettering so a sliver of the gold shows from behind. It ended up giving my lettering an almost raised 3D look too, which I actually really love. For my last coat of epoxy, I first applied Quick Coat to seal my vinyl, and then I added Smog from Feather Bear Designs to give my tumbler a slight gold shimmer. To make sure my black vinyl blended well, I added some black alcohol ink to the very bottom of my tumbler, which I neglected to record. I am so sorry about that, guys. I let them cure, and then I was all done. That's it, guys! Thank you so much for watching my tutorial. A huge thank you to all of my Patreon and channel members. Your support is literally everything. May you all have a safe and very happy Easter, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!